I'm Natasha Busst, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Najib to serve 15 years in jail, fined 11.38 billion ringgit following conviction in one MDB case. And elements of misconduct demands for positions behind peerless political upheaval, says past chief. Good morning. We begin the bulletin with this story. Datuk Sri Najib Razak has been sentenced to 165 years imprisonment and fined 11.38 billion ringgit by the High Court following his conviction in his long-running One Malaysia Development Berhad corruption case. The former Prime Minister, however, will effectively serve 15 years behind bars after Judge Datuk Colin Lawrence Sekera on Friday ordered for the jail term to run concurrently once Najib finishes serving his current 6-year prison sentence in the SRC International case. Najib will face an additional 40 years in prison if he fails to settle the fine. The court also ordered the accused to pay 2.1 billion ringgit in default, 2 years and 6 months imprisonment for the money laundering charges. The court had earlier found Najib guilty of 4 counts of abuse of power and 21 counts of money laundering involving 2.28 billion ringgit in one MDB funds deposited in his AmBank accounts between February 2011 and December 2014. Sekera handed down the sentence after ruling that the former Pekan Member of Parliament had failed to raise reasonable doubt against the prosecution's case. It took about 5 hours for the judge to deliver his judgment before pronouncing the sentence at the Palace of Justice in Putrajaya at 9 p.m. The high-profile trial lasted 7 years and involved 50 witnesses, with the prosecution closing its case on May 30th last year. The defense case was heard from December 2nd, 2024 to May 6, spanning 58 days, during which 26 witnesses were called to give testimony. Meanwhile, when delivering his verdict, the presiding judge found that the 4 Arab donation letters relied on by Najib in his defense were forgeries. Sekera also pointed out that there was evidence indicating that the money in question actually came from one MDB funds. He said the letters were never produced in their original form before the court and were an attempt by the accused to legitimize his claim that the funds he received were donations. He also noted that no verification had been carried out by the former Prime Minister to ensure that the funds originated from the family of the late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia. The court further dismissed Najib's argument that he had been misled by one MDB management. The court also held that Najib was aware of the dealings when he rejected advice from former One MDB chief executive Datuk Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi and others regarding transactions involving fugitive businessman Low Tech Joe or Joe Low. The court further ruled there was also overwhelming evidence that Low acted as Najib's proxy. This was evident as all of Low's instructions were treated by one MDB's top brass as coming directly from the former Prime Minister. Later at a press conference following the High Court verdict, Najib's defense team said they would be filing an appeal against his conviction on Monday.
Basically, we are appealing on Monday. We are looking forward to argue this matter in the Court of Appeal. In fact, although I'm sad for my client, in many ways I'm happy because the more blunder I think a judge makes, the better are our chances.
In the meantime, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki on Friday expressed his appreciation to the investigators and prosecutors involved in the one MDB case. He noted that the investigators and prosecution team had worked diligently from the start of the probe in July 2015 up to the delivery of the judgment. He conveyed his gratitude for the extraordinary commitment and perseverance of the investigators, particularly in obtaining statements and evidence both domestically and at the international level. He also extended his appreciation to Bank Negara, the police, and international law enforcement partners for their cooperation. The political turmoil in Perlis, culminating in Menteri Besar Muhammad Shukri Ramli's resignation, is linked to demands for positions and corruption issues surrounding certain large-scale projects in the state. This was revealed to reporters by past President Tan Sri Abdul Hadi Awang when asked about the cause of the crisis.
Yang pertama, kerana nak ke jawatan. Nak ke jawatan. Orang yang nak jawatan bukan boleh kerja. Pergi semua jawatan ni. Orang yang nak jawatan. Kita pergi kepada yang layak. Yang kedua kerana projek. Orang untuk projek banyak sangat. Projek besar-besar. Projek ini tak ikut peraturan pula. Salah. Di sebaliknya ada risuah. Di sebaliknya ada macam-macam. Menteri Besar kita tak boleh ikut.
On Thursday, Shukri, who is also the Sanglang assemblyman, announced his voluntary resignation as Perlis Menteri Besar, citing health reasons with immediate effect. He also denied that his resignation was made under pressure from any particular party. At the same press conference, Hadi said PAS has put forward 2 names for the post of Perlis Menteri Besar. He added that the 2 candidates' names have been submitted to the Raja of Perlis, Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Putra Jamalulail, for consideration. According to Hadi, PAS still controls 6 seats in the State Legislative Assembly despite the expulsion of 3 of its representatives. Therefore, the party is entitled to propose its candidate for the Menteri Besar post.
Perlis ni dia 15 kursi dia. Semua sekali 15 lah. Jadi kita ada 6. Satu ada 5.
On Wednesday, PAS decided to terminate the memberships of Chuping Assemblyman Saad Seman, Bintong Assemblyman Fakrul Anwar Ismail, and Guar Sanji Assemblyman Muhammad Rizwan Hashim. The trio, together with 5 Bersatu assemblymen, were previously reported to have submitted statutory declarations to the Raja of Perlis, stating that they no longer supported Shukri. Hadi explained that the 3 former PAS assemblymen had committed serious breaches against the party and were found to have violated their bai'ah or pledge of allegiance. However, he said they may submit appeals, although the final decision rests with the party leadership. Commenting further, the Marang Member of Parliament said PAS is prepared to face by-elections for the 3 seats concerned should they take place. In another development, Perlis State Assembly Speaker Rusli Izan will formally notify the Election Commission next week of the unexpected vacancies in the Chuping, Bintong and Guar Sanji seats. He said the State Assembly has 21 days to inform the EC following his announcement on Thursday that the 3 seats had become vacant after the memberships of the 3 PAS assemblymen for these constituencies were terminated with immediate effect. Bruce Lee explained that notice of the unforeseen vacancies in the PAS seats had yet to be submitted to the EC, as he was still waiting to see whether Bersatu would take similar action against its 5 involved assemblymen or otherwise.
Saya masih lagi menunggu satu keputusan, kemungkinan yang akan dibuat ataupun tidak dibuat oleh Bersatu tentang tindakan tata tertib terhadap 5 wakil rakyat Bersatu yang telah melanggari perjanjian pemufakatan dalam Bersatu dan PAS.
He also said at present the situation in the Perlis State Assembly was highly sensitive, as any change in the status of assemblymen would have a direct impact on the administration and proceedings in the House. Meanwhile, Bersatu has not indicated whether any action will be taken against the party's 5 assemblymen who withdrew their support for Shukri as demanded by PAS. In a statement on Friday, Bersatu Deputy President Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin, who is also the Perikatan Nasional Deputy Chairman, said every decision and political stance must center on the people's interests. He expressed confidence that the Raja of Perlis will exercise his wisdom and constitutional powers appropriately in determining the appointment of a new Menteri Besar. The current priority, he added, is to ensure the state government continues to function effectively and focus on the Rakyat's welfare and needs, in line with the mandate given to PN in the 15th general election. Malaysia continues to stand out as a leading investment destination and hub within ASEAN. This position is further reinforced by the United States' reciprocal tariff rate of 19%, which helps Malaysia maintain a competitive edge over its regional peers. According to Phillip Capital's analysis, these advantages enhance Malaysia's attractiveness as it navigates ongoing shifts in the global supply chain. This is also underpinned by a robust industrial ecosystem, strategic infrastructure, and a well-integrated supply chain. Within the first 9 months of 2025, total approved investments rose by 13% to 285 billion ringgit. During the same period, foreign direct investments amounted to 151 billion ringgit, representing a 48% increase. The firm also expects the electrical and electronics sector to remain a key growth driver, supported by Pulau Pinang's semiconductor ecosystem and continued high-value investments. Malaysia is entering a new phase of economic growth driven by investments in data centers and artificial intelligence. BIMB Securities describes this development as the country's third investment cycle following the manufacturing era and the oil and gas sector. The country's data center capacity is expected to surge to around 5 gigawatts by 2030, with Johor emerging as a key hyperscale hub supported by its strategic location and reliable energy supply. This surge directly benefits the construction and engineering sectors, particularly companies specializing in high-technology facilities. At the same time, rising demand for electricity and fiber optic infrastructure is expected to strengthen the role of utilities and telecommunications within the national digital ecosystem. Overall, this new investment cycle is poised to steer the economy towards higher value-added segments and enhance long-term competitiveness. The Japanese government on Friday approved a record budget for the upcoming fiscal year to cover rising defense spending and ballooning social security costs amid persistent inflation. The $782 billion budget for the fiscal year from April 2026 will include about $58 billion for defense spending as Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi aims to accelerate Tokyo's sweeping upgrade of its military in the face of worsening relations with China. The $782 billion figure compares with the $730 billion sought for the current fiscal year to March, which was also a record. $1.04 billion ringgit in drugs seized. This and more after this breather.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember, 5.32 petang. Hanya di TV3 dan stream HD ditonton.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition.
Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Macam mana Aira boleh terfikir yang Aira nak serahkan abang pada orang lain?
Aku tak nak kawan dengan kau. Sebab kau tadi...
Hah?
Sebab kau tadi...
Dah cakap apa ni?
Yes.
Aduh, sakit.
Sampai hati kau.
Oh, tak nak kawan dengan abang sebab tak ada tonton ke?
Yelah, kan sebenarnya 90 je. Sekarang barulah boleh kahwin. Kawan-kawan.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Thanks for staying with us. Bukit Aman has dismantled an international drug syndicate led by an East Asian individual, seizing 6.2 tons of drugs valued at 1.04 billion ringgit. The operation, Ops Gaharu 2.0, was conducted around the Klang Valley last Sunday. During the first raid at Taman Industri Selesa Jaya, Seri Kembangan, police seized nearly 6 tons of liquid and powdered substances suspected to be shabu. A second raid at Taman Perindustrian Kepung in Kuala Lumpur resulted in the seizure of more than 20 kilograms of cocaine and over 1 kilogram of ketamine. Bukit Aman Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department NCID Director Datuk Hussein Omar Khan said the raids followed the arrest of 6 individuals, including 3 women, during Ops Gaharu 1.0 on December 16th.
Nilai anggaran keseluruhan rampasan dadah dan sitaan dalam operasi ini iaitu Ops Gaharu pertama dan yang kedua ni adalah berjumlah ringgit Malaysia 20.6 bilion.
The syndicate is believed to have been active since January, operating 14 premises used as laboratories and storage facilities, with the overseas mastermind relying on local operatives and coordinators to manage on-the-ground operations before distributing the drugs abroad, including in Hong Kong and Australia. All 6 suspects have been remanded for 14 days until this Tuesday to assist in investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Kuala Lumpur, 2 people died early Friday morning after becoming trapped in an apartment fire in Sentul. The bodies of both victims, an 82-year-old woman and her 58-year-old son, were found in the bathroom after the blaze engulfed the unit. The City Fire and Rescue Department Operations Center said they received an emergency call on the incident at the Dato Senu People's Housing Project at around 7:18 a.m. Personnel from the Sentul and Gombak Selatan Fire and Rescue stations were then immediately dispatched to the scene. Upon arrival, firefighters used 6 hose lines connected to their fire engines to extinguish the flames and prevent them from spreading to surrounding units. The fire was brought under control about 13 minutes later and fully extinguished at 8:27 a.m. The incident is estimated to have caused 40% damage to the residential unit. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. The remains of the victims, identified only as Jamila and Zuzaini, were taken to Kuala Lumpur Hospital for post-mortem. The bodies are expected to be buried on Saturday. A two-vehicle collision in Terengganu has claimed the life of a 2-year-old girl and left 7 others injured. The fatal accident occurred at around 9:45 a.m. on Friday along Jalan Felda Belara in Kuala Nerus. The child, Putri Fadela Alfrida Muhammad Firdaus, sustained severe injuries to several parts of her body in the crash. She was pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. Initial investigations revealed that the victim was traveling with her family to Kuala Terengganu when the crash occurred. The victim's father is believed to have lost control of the vehicle before it collided with another car traveling in the opposite direction. Following an emergency call, 9 personnel from the Kuala Nerus Fire and Rescue Department were dispatched to the scene. Rescuers took 10 minutes to free 2 victims who were pinned in the wreckage. Among those injured were a 5-month-old baby and a 4-year-old child. Putri Fadela's body was sent to the Sultana Nur Zahira Hospital for post-mortem, while the 7 injured victims received medical treatment at the same hospital. In Negeri Sembilan, a 51-year-old man was charged at the Tampin Magistrates Court on Friday with the murder of Suri Narudin, whose body was found stuffed in a bag and buried behind an unoccupied house in Rembau last week. The accused, Zaini Zan Zainal, only nodded in understanding after the charge was read out to him before Magistrate Muhammad Reza Azhar Rezali. No plea was recorded as murder cases fall under the jurisdiction of the High Court. According to the charge sheet, the accused allegedly murdered the 53-year-old entrepreneur behind a house at Jalan Pedas Linggi, Rembau between December 7th and 18th. He was charged under the Penal Code, which carries the death penalty or imprisonment of between 30 and 40 years, along with a minimum of 12 strokes of the cane. The court has fixed January 27th for case mention. Last Wednesday, Negeri Sembilan Police Chief Dato Alzafni Ahmad confirmed that the body found in the bag was Suri's. The remains were identified through fingerprint analysis, which matched records held by the National Registration Department. Suri was reported missing on December 8th, and her body was discovered 10 days later. Stabbing rampage in Japan leaves 15 injured. The details when Nightline returns.
Anak putri hilang. Jimmy! Jimmy! Jimmy?
Putri buat apa kat sini? Ini memang barang baik. Legend, boleh masuk. Macam mana? Weh! Ada ekor! Ini kaki dia kalau celup dalam air, baru tumbuh ekor.
Kita mulakan hidaan kita dengan memperkenalkan ikan duyung berkaki manusia.
Look at me while I'm talking to you.
Abang, hati-hati ya.
Jangan risau, kita bergabung. Meletup.
Sesungguhnya namamu takkan ku suruh. Sekira masalah ini mampu ku tanggung sendiri.
Dalam bayangan tipu daya dan pengkhianatan, Aryana terperangkap dalam tekanan.
Awak kemas barang-barang awak. Mulai hari ini, kita duduk tempat lain. Saya dan awak.
Cukupkah cinta yang tersisa untuk menyelamatkan hatinya?
Kita pergi jumpa Is now. Okey.
Kau ni gelojoh lah.
Saksikan drama vertikal bersiri Separuh Nafas Cinta. 2 episod baru setiap hari, 12:30 hari dan 8 malam. Eksklusif di TikTok Drama Sangat dan Tonton.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember, 5.32 petang. Hanya di TV3 dan stream HD di Tonton.
Moving to international developments. Cambodia has accused Thailand of intensifying its bombardment of disputed border areas as peace talks between the two countries entered their third day. According to Cambodia's defense ministry, the Thai military deployed several F-16 fighter jets to drop as many as 40 bombs on disputed border areas in Banteay, Mien Chey province on Friday. Thai media, meanwhile, reported that Cambodian forces launched heavy attacks overnight along the border in Sa Kaeo province, damaging several homes. Both sides have claimed to be acting in self-defense and have accused the other of targeting civilians. This comes as Cambodian and Thai officials have been in negotiations since Wednesday at a border checkpoint in Ban Pakad, Chantaburi. However, an agreement has yet to be reached as Cambodia has declined the ceasefire conditions proposed by Thailand. A man was arrested after stabbing 8 people and injuring 7 others with what was believed to be bleach at a rubber factory in central Japan on Friday. 8 people were taken to hospitals after being stabbed by the man with a knife at the Yokohama Rubber Company in the city of Mishima in the Shizuoka prefecture. All victims were reported to be conscious. Shizuoka police said the attacker, a 38-year-old man, was arrested for alleged attempted murder at the factory. Investigators said the suspect was carrying a survival knife and wearing what appeared to be a gas mask. Authorities believe the suspect acted alone. 3 people have died after heavy rainstorms swept across large parts of California, causing widespread floods and mudslides. The storms, expected to continue through Friday, brought 27 centimeters of rainfall to some parts of Los Angeles County, prompting evacuations and closing major roads. Evacuation orders were issued in parts of San Bernardino County, while flash flood warnings affected the San Francisco Bay Area on Thursday morning. Emergency responders have been conducting multiple rescues of people trapped in vehicles as floodwaters rise. On to sports, badminton. Ahead of the Malaysian Open, the Badminton Association of Malaysia, BAM, has called on independent shuttlers to join its training sessions. The move aims to ensure that all national representatives are in peak condition for the Super 1000 tournament, which will get underway on January 6. The joint training sessions have already kicked off with world number 7 men's doubles pair Go Sifei and Nur Izzuddin Ramsani in attendance at the Academy Badminton Malaysia on Friday. National coach Harry Iman Piengadi said their presence provides high-quality sparring for world number 2 pair Aaron Chia and So Wee Yik, making it mutually beneficial for both sides. The sessions also allow both pairs to prepare for future tournaments beyond the Malaysian Open, such as the Thomas Cup, which is just 4 months away. And that concludes Nightline this time around. We leave you with scenes at a lunchtime dance club in Shanghai, China, where retirees cheer under disco lights, showcasing a dance hall culture that's been a part of the city's identity since the Jazz Age heyday. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful weekend.